this is another motivational video to help everybody out there today. You know, this channel, we cover a lot of different stuff, right? Most of the time, it's just talk, right? And the reason why I'm saying the power of one today, right? Because you yourself have the power to make a change in your life. Now, yesterday when I got home after going out and celebrating a little bit with my family, I got home and I put on YouTube like I normally do. And I saw a YouTube video, 2025 studio tour, right? Said, oh, this will be cool. Click on this, watch a little Rick Beato, like we all do. And, there he is in his room, right? In his studio, amazing studio that he has, that he built back in 2005, right? Before he even thought that he would be doing, videos, he was recording music. And there he is with five people, his staff, right? And I'm like, I'm blown away. I'm going, okay. Because look, I had recently had somebody, a troll in the comments, had recently said, you're nobody, you've got no followers. And I said, music channels will never do anything. And I said, well, Rick Beato, he's got a lot. Yeah, he's only got this many. And, Joe Rogan's got, it's like, well, hey, of course, Mr. Beast has probably got more than Joe Rogan, but what's the point? Success is, how you view it. And, when I started this channel out, having 5,000 subscribers was success, right? And then getting to, 10,000 is success. And just recently getting to 15,000 is success. And probably sometime next week, we'll probably hit 16K. And that's success. That's power of one. That's one person doing this, right? Rick Beato has a staff, right? He's had a staff from the beginning because the studio staff, the one guy that he has been with him, since the beginning, right? They just transferred over into a new venture, right? Shooting these videos became the next step in the studio progression, right? And, so I tried to explain this to my wife, say, hey, he's got a staff. Oh, well, he doesn't need all that. Look, man, here's the thing. He's got a staff of 5 or 6 guys total, right? Maybe there's a few extras that we don't know about. But here's the deal, man. I've got a staff of 1 and a family that also needs me, right? And the difficulty of juggling all of that, it's not easy, right? It's not easy. It's not easy to aspire to be at the Rick Beato level and know that you're doing it all yourself, right? Being 58 years old and figuring out how to edit video and figuring out how to shoot video and trying different things and coming up with a topic. I mean, in the beginning of the morning, right, he gets together with 2 or 3 of his staff members and they spitball ideas about what they're going to shoot that day. What did I do this morning? I got up, I put on my shoes, I came out here, I took the dog out, I found a good lighting spot on my back porch and I pressed record. Okay. And I knew in the back of my mind that I was going to talk about the power of one, because here is the inspiration. Here is what I think can help everybody out there. Most of us don't have a staff. Most of us have family that rely on us to do things, right? We are doing multiple jobs. Many of us are dads out there, or granddads, or husbands, or taking care of, many of us, I get in the comments, taking care of their elderly parents. And that's difficult, man. It's difficult to build a business. It's difficult to learn a craft like playing guitar or bass or drums or whatever, and work on your creative pursuits and be able to do something else, right? But I want to be that inspiration for you out there, right? Because the reality is, if I can do it, anybody can do it, right? So whatever it is that you want to be able to do, right? The power of one, right? Because here's the deal. I don't have a staff to pay, right? That can become, to imagine doing payroll, right? And I'm sure he's probably got accountants and, and people that handle paying all these guys and paying all the taxes and doing all this stuff, man. I'm a one-man operation with my family, helping out when they can. And mostly I'm helping them out because they need it, right? But here's the deal, man. You don't need all that. Look, I was amazed that he has a member of his staff. And look, you can hear the birds are chiming in here. It's part of life here in Florida every morning, right? But he has one guy, right, that his job is just editing video, right? And he's especially good at doing the, what's it called, vertical style, right? Like you'd watch on Shorts or you'd watch on TikTok. Now they're really loud now. This is life in Florida, man. And that's the reality, right? But here's the deal, man. He's got one expert that's good at doing those vertical style videos. And the reality is this, man. I just figured out how to make one of my long form contents. I figured out now how to make them into a vertical format, right? I've just now figured out how to do one of those and chop it up. Take what would normally be a 15, 20-minute video. Take what would normally be a 15, 20-minute video and condense the idea of the video into a 60-second piece. Just now figured out how to do that. I'm just one guy. I spend most of my days, editing video when I'm not taking care of my family, right? I get up, I shoot the content, right? Then a separate point of the day, I'll go in and I might play some guitar and I'll splice that into the content. And here's the deal. I'm just one guy, right? But I'm figuring out things and learning new skills. At an advanced age, I've got Ace. Now look, this is what's going on. There's Ace. And Ace was in this little patio chair here, just going on a tear. But then now that I called him out, he's decided to bail. But here's the deal, man. Having that staff, having all these people, and that's an amazing thing. I told my wife, I said, you know what? Maybe if we grow this channel, maybe maybe I'll have some staff. Maybe I'll have some people helping, right? And she says, well, if you get that big, we'll have to get a bigger place. I go, yeah, that's a possibility. Or convert our garage into some kind of studio or something. And that's the reality of all of this. But the power of one person doing all this. And I told her, I go, don't underestimate what can happen, right? Don't underestimate. And I think even in her mind, she thinks, oh, it'll never be that big. But look, man, just like David and Goliath, Don't underestimate the little guy. Don't underestimate the old dude with his cell phone up at 5 o'clock in the morning, because what we're doing is we're creating momentum, right? And we're slowly building momentum. But we're starting to roll downhill now, which makes the journey go a little bit faster, and the reality is this, man. If I get this channel up to 100,000 viewers, maybe a guy like Rick Beato has me on. Maybe I've developed my story, and lived the story. The most important thing. I think every artist, and here's a big piece of life. Developing your story. If you're a young artist coming up, man, take note of your journey. Take note of what you've had to go through. Remember those moments. Those are going to be big later in life, whether you write a book, or whether you start a YouTube channel, or whether you do the talk show circuit or whatever. Having a story. Look at a guy like Jelly Roll, right? I'm not like a country music fan or whatever, and I don't even know tons of his story, but I know he comes from going to jail and living this other life, and now finding redemption, right? That is a powerful story, and that's what's propelling his career. Look, at some point, I realized the power of my story, right? Being a little kid watching MTV and seeing Van Halen videos and going, I want to move out to California. I want to play guitar in a heavy metal band. Chasing that dream, small town kid out to Los Angeles, ending up playing on the Sunset Strip of all places for a kid from a small town, right? But that dream never happened, right? I didn't become a rock star, but I continued on my path, moving to Nashville, and all of the stuff that I've been through, man. It makes for one hell of a real story, right? And you can't just make this stuff up, right? Everything that I've done, I've been very candid about. And, I don't profess to be something that I'm not. That's not what having a story or building your story is. It's all about being very real. But having that story now, and the power of one, the power of the motivation that I have now to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, turn this phone on and decide, hey, I'm going to talk to the people now. I'm going to inspire people now with my story. That one person can do the work of 6 men. One person can take on the system, right? One person can get behind the camera, right, and tell his life story, or do anything, man. Anything you want to do, you can do. And I hope this inspires people to get up and get motivated and make the change and do the things that they want to do. It's not just a guitar channel. This is motivational. This is life. It's about changing your life. It's about being positive. It's about having something to do when you get up in the morning. And I know many of us that play guitar, play music, play bass, or play drums, or sing. We wake up each day with a purpose. And that is a powerful, powerful thing. Because there are many people in life that wake up to the drudgery of the day in, day out. But they don't have that one thing like we have that inspires them to continue on. And that is the power of life and the power of one. The power of one person getting up, being motivated. It's an amazing thing to think that I could build this thing. I could build this channel. And the sky is the limit. The sky is the limit if I get up each day and do the work. And that, my friends, is what life is all about.